baddest motherfucker that ever lived to survive this world. Honestly, man, you have to start callousing over that victim's mentality. You have to start building this mental armor that no matter what anybody says, that you can be in a room full of 1 million people, and all million can be like against you, calling you names, whatever, like this. You know what? How's that? It's like, I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly what I'm doing. And this is what builds discipline. You know, not everybody, I'm not telling everybody to do this, but this is my lifestyle. This is how I build self-discipline. And if you live that way, I guarantee you, your goals and dreams will get accomplished. So that was my mentality back then, man. You know, like I had to get the miles, get everything in, man, and get to work, man. I'm competing with the alpha males. But if you get 20% of that mindset, you're going to be successful in life. You may be misunderstood. Don't take all that mindset. Just take a little bit of it, apply it to your life, and you'll see how far you go. It takes a lot of self-discipline to be able to do that nowadays, because you want to be so attached to everything. You want to be so caught up with the world. The world's moving too fast. The world's moving so fast that you're trying to keep up to the point where you lose yourself in the world. So you have to take that time to go to that dark place in your mind and discover who you are. Those habits and those sort of disciplines in life, you have to just live life, haphazard. You don't really have the schedule. And with that schedule, with those habits, that's what builds that discipline for you to accomplish your goals and dreams. That's why I'm so disciplined now. Now I'm so disciplined, there is no David Goggins. Like, I can't stop reading. I won't be able to read tomorrow. I won't lose it that fast. Wow. I cannot stop going to the gym. My mind is set up in a spot where, hey, the second I stop, it wants to stop. Because I had a quitting mind growing up. When you get beat, you're studying all the time. Your mind wants to go to that nice spot where you're comfortable, where you're not trying, where it's easy. That's where your mind is. It doesn't want to think. You have all these things in the mind, and the mind can only absorb so much. So all the pain it has to go with it wants to push it away. So let's not do that. So everything is fighting where the mind wants to go. So it's a constant evolution. I've never arrived. Right now, I'm stressed out 2 hours a day. And I'm trying to reinvent the wheel. Like, oh man, I want to do Navy SEAL training. I'm done. I ran over 7,000 miles, 2007. I'm done. I did 200 record speed. I'm done. Now, that the mind is so strong that the body gets the mind. So that's where I'm at. So I'm always trying to reinvent the wheel and see what I'm capable of next. I call it mental zones. I don't get into much because you're here all day. But basically, it's you're organizing your mind so you can put that discipline. So a lot of people talk about discipline. Okay, great. Why do you fall off the wagon? Why can't I continue with this routine? Going to the gym, being better, waking up early, eating the right foods. It's because maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your job. And it's all just stuffed in your brain. You don't have it compartmentalized, organized in these nice shelves. Like if you're in the garage, it's all a nice organized military garage. Hey, where are my dumbbells? Right there. A lot of people use brain. Hey, where are my dumbbells? I can look. I'm looking through toilets and all. So where am I going to put discipline in that mind if I can't find other shit? You got to be able to find all these different things in your mind. Oh, I can put discipline right there. I can put consistency right there. I can put all these things right there in that spot. So that's what I'm talking about. If your life is not organized, and your life be everything around you, because it takes one little piece of an outside interference to clutter your whole mind. Most of my true ability comes from the discipline of mind. And that's where my motivation was, is that most people put me in a category. They didn't know the side of me that can write deep, thoughtful books and give people things that can make you cry, make you happy, make you sad. I can bring you through an emotion. I can give you 10 years of life within 3 pages. For me, I grew up and I thought I was real stupid. I thought I was dumb. You know, I thought I couldn't read and write. All these different things, man. So the motivation for me now is that while I do run a lot, I do a lot of working out, that's where I go to school. That's my school, man. That's where I learn. That's where the deepness of my thought comes from. That's where the philosophical side of me comes from. That's where all my parables come from. I speak in like Bible terms a lot of times, and people don't understand, man, how deep I am. So when I go up against Michelle Obama, and I'm a self-published guy, you know, they spent over $1 million trying to get Michelle Obama's book out there. Even though I didn't choose to come out with Michelle Obama both times, just by chance. It was the Edge of the World. I came up with one of the biggest women people of all time. All right, motherfucker, let's go. So it keeps me waking up every morning, keeps me training in all the disciplines of life. It is the greatest competitor, which is life. I'm training for life. Mentally, I'm training for life. I'm not training for to lift 400 pounds. That I found out on my own pretty much. Is that through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do. That's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. You start to armor your mind. You say, okay, we suffer every day. How do we do? We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when suck stuff comes, get ready for it. And that's how I started coming up. When I would start being very uncomfortable. Now it's like just a way of life. I'm living life so disciplined that everybody that I once looked to, these fake characters, I built that as a man. And when I was younger, I had this image in my mind of what does a man look like to me. And I got all these people who were badasses, characters. And in my mind, I became that. And that's what kept me going a lot. Was I had this pipe dream of becoming a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Because you have no parents raising you, and you have no role models growing up. It's not daydreaming. You start to create a reality like, maybe I can be that. And after becoming this guy, that is the biggest thing I can ever do in my life. I became that guy. Because what made me are the not just disciplines, the self-disciplines of life. And those are always in front of you. If you're not with them, you're always in front of you. So that's my heart spot. The only thing that changes your DNA is discipline. Yes. Discipline is the only thing that changes your DNA, man. It's the only thing, man. You can be so, I realized that, man. I was like, man, the only thing that changed my DNA is discipline. It's life. Alice in my mind over the victim's mentality. So I have a very victim's mentality. Once you have that mentality, you are doomed to fail. The rest of your life, you will fail. The rest of your life, you will fail. So how you start to callous over the victim's mentality is really start to do these things to build self-esteem. I didn't have self. And that means self-esteem, self-awareness, self-belief, self-motivation, self-discipline. So when you don't have that, you attract the people in your life that you're most like. And I was most like a loser. So I attracted a lot of losers. And when you are in that mode of life, and you're not around people getting up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning grinding, saying, come on, mother, let's go. I'm not talking about the gym. I'm talking when it comes to making money, when it comes to making anything. These people who are in this out of their mind obsessed. I have that. I had people who are not waking up till 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, going to bed late, eating foods, had no desires, had no goals, had nothing. And I sat there for too many years. And I got involved with people like that. Had relationships with people like that. And what happens is that becomes who you are. So my biggest regret is not building myself fast enough to not go through the beginning of my life in the dungeon. It took too long to get out of the dungeon, almost too long to where you would have never been a David Goggins. There is a time limit on everything, my friend. Everything has an expiration date. There is no tomorrow. Some of us get granted a tomorrow, but there really is not one. I was lucky. And you never want to bring luck into your life. So when I first joined the Navy, I had to join the reserves because I couldn't get into active duty because I was so fat. So being a reservist, I got titled a lot of times as a weekend warrior. In the reserves, we work 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. A lot of us live our lives that way. We can't work out without purpose. We need to do our dress for the weather. Summertime's coming, so we want to look all good. Our high school reunion is coming up, so we gotta lose weight. The biggest purpose in life, doing all that shit. It's how you respect yourself. How you look at yourself. That's an everyday journey. So every day you should be getting after it. We look at determination, self-discipline. We look at hard work. All these terms, almost like we dread them. It's like a punishment. Those are the biggest words of all time as far as respecting yourself. Don't look at it as dread and punishment. Look at those words as a lifestyle. Pushing yourself physically is the number one factor in life. That is a true spot where you can really dive deep into. Life's about self-discipline. It is about self-discipline. We tend to do the things that are easy. And that is it builds no mental toughness, it builds no mental hardening, it builds nothing. When you working out is where you can build that the fastest. Because it's a constant, it gives you instant feedback. You may not lose the weight you want to real fast, but the discipline it takes, it transfers over to all aspects of your life. It's not, people, hey, why do you know it's working out? Stop looking at it that way. This is the foundation of life. When you look in the mirror, every morning we all look in the mirror to get ready to go to work, to go anywhere. The first thing you see is your reflection. If you don't like what you see in the morning, you lost the war already. It's not even liking what you see. It's about looking in the mirror and you may start, man, I feel different. That reflection is not everything. It's a feeling you're supposed to get. So you have to, in life, once you leave your house, the war begins. In your house, you have some control. And that reflection in the mirror, you have to control that reflection in the mirror. That's how you start your day. Leave your house feeling like, okay, I can fight. I've established the mentality to fight. And all that comes from working out. It's not just from, you can't find that in the office. Some people didn't understand. I said I'm training for life. 2020 was a perfect example of that. A lot of people lost jobs, lost businesses, lost family members. A lot of folks spent a lot of time in the hospital on ventilators. That should have caused a lot of damage in your brain. Folks see how much I work out. They think I'm working from demons. It's not demons. It's discipline. I'm a disciple of discipline. They cannot run the demons. They always find you. Only way to beat them, mother, is looking at eye to eye. Thinking you. Mindset's the only thing that gets us through hard times. Merry Christmas. So how I do every day is how I do every day. It's a discipline. It's a regimen. It was a choice I made, and the choice I made was: what are you willing to sacrifice, and what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being? And I was willing to give everything to do that. So studying is no joke. And the crazy thing about what you say that I didn't have a mother come wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, you got to get in. I had no trainer. I didn't have a nutritionist. It was the self-discipline that I had to survive, not survive for me, to thrive. No one said, hey man, you're 297 pounds, man. I will help you out. I'll help you. Hey man, you're not smart. I'm gonna help you out. I had to work it all this. I had to overcome, and self-discipline is everything. And if you don't have it, I'll look at you right, because I know you're capable of more. It's not discipline so much for me. It's all on you. It's all on you. The self part is what's big. We need someone to hold people accountable. That shit, man. That we count on people too much to get us through. And we look to our right, look to our left, looking for help. And if you can build that self, you can build that total accountability in oneself. And it's not about being selfish. I'm trying to create a better me. So hopefully people who are hearing this are taking it the right way and can say, I can run a mile. Anybody running 205 miles, 204 feet, say, hey, gosh, it doesn't matter. I want you to see how far you can go. And that's all it's about, yourself. And that's what it all comes from. These are things that every human being can work on their own. You don't need talent. You need discipline. I was like, man, I have that. So I started gravitating more towards the everyday person that went way beyond. It was that blue black line I talked about in the book. That blue black line where you reach greatness. And I started realizing that's what I can do. I can outwork a motherfucker. I can outwork everybody. That's what it takes. I can't dunk. But over here, everything that I want is over here in this pile of hard work, dedication, sacrifice. I can do that. I can do that all day long. I can get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can outwork you. That's where I found greatness over there. So you're able to take these hits along the way. Yeah. So that's the mindset that I think is important to bring with you every day you go. Everywhere you go in life. Whatever you can. It's not just about working out, but for me, working out has been a very big part of my mental growth. So for me, if I am not challenging myself every day, and I swear to God, people will not believe it. I was over almost 300 pounds twice in my life. A person that does that twice in his life does not enjoy cardiovascular activity, okay? So people can put anything they want to in their head. I did realize one thing. The things I don't enjoy, that I still do, that's where growth is at. And that's, for me, the only place growth is at is in that very uncomfortable, that uncomfortable zone. But my mindset when I was a fat, 300-pound, 24-year-old spraying for cockroaches, and I was married to the wrong person. Because when I came home, I said, I gotta make a change. I'm making $1,000 a month. I have nothing. And she looked at me and she said, we're okay. I said, we're not okay. This ain't okay. And that's when I realized I married wrong. So it was that next morning I went up and got divorced. And I went off to Navy SEAL training by myself. And I went through 3 hell weeks. And I conquered. And I kept conquering. And I kept conquering. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, I'm not saying physical, I'm not saying you got to break yourself off. The amount of mental pain of how many times you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. There's going to be more times to do something that you don't want to do than you are going to want to do. That's your new norm. Once you feed it the right conversation, the right mental nutrients, the right mental supplements, the right internal dialogue at the right time, with the right hit, with the right proof of what you've done in the past, and you send it right to the right circuit, you're a beast. You gotta change the internal dialogue. That person in your head that's talking that shit to you, until you change the internal dialogue in your head, until you callous over the victim's mentality that the world is out to get you because of you are the only, you gotta change that shit, man. And that was my mindset. So when I talk to people, I don't give them a get out of jail free card. I don't care about your past. I don't care if your mom is going, your dad is going. I don't care if you're struggling in school or have whatever the hell. I don't care. Because God blessed them with all of that shit. He said, figure it out. It's a test. And you have an opportunity to take the test or not take it. Be ready for life. Don't let life just start attacking you left and right. Make make sure that you start to build a mental armor so that you're ready for life. And that comes with a very physical way. And the physical helps out the mental. The mentality of can't hurt me is just that. Well, what's in front of you, man? You have to face, you have to confront, you have to overcome, you have to forward. I'm all about that kind of mentality. But I would sometimes take it to another level. You know, I'm a part of a Hero Boy network. I want to be part. I want to be David and God is. For too long in my life, and it got me in trouble. For too long in my life, I wanted to be accepted. Growing up, I lied. I did what I could. If you didn't like the UFC and I did it, I love it. I love it, man. Let's go watch that. My friend, be my buddy. Can we catch? I found out through this path of life, who is David Goggins? Who am I? So going through all, I did it alone. There was no trophy on the wall, on the mantle. That trophy's in my fucking brain. No one helped me get it. No one paid my fucking bills. No one just, I ran those, my one stuff. I suffered on my own. And developed this man who said, so man, you're a warrior. Me on my crutches. Me getting my knees cracked. You were happy I was an injured. You're also happy that you thought I never run again. All that see, I told you. Tagging the fingers. You know me. You see a 1 minute video about me. You know how hard I trained, how I live, the dedication I put to my life. So why do you troll? Maybe it's a fat mother. You're at home. Lazy. With no discipline or dedication. Maybe you're jealous. Who knows? I guarantee this. I'll be back better than ever. Ha ha! You fail. And how that looks is, when you know you're gonna fail, you have to know how to get back up with the right mindset quickly. That's what I'm saying. So if you don't train yourself how to fail, because if you're out here in business, if you're out here wanting to be a Navy SEAL, a Ranger, or a business person, and you're going for lofty goals. Like, it took me 3 times to get the pull-up record. It took me 3 times to become a Navy SEAL. I took the ASVAB test 5 times because I was so damn dumb. So when you're going in something, and you're like, look, man, I come from an average background. I have an average mindset. I have an average physical physique. I have no talent. I can't jump out of the gym. You gotta realize, I want to be the richest or the best athlete. You better take down notes on how failure is going to be a big part of your life. Not saying you're not going to get there. You will get there if you have conquered how to conquer failure. So I started realizing, man, I got to start facing the struggle, and I got to be mentally strong for the struggle. So that's why I started coming up like, I'm training for life. Mentally, I'm training for life. I'm not training for to lift 400 pounds. And I found out on my own pretty much. Is that through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do, that's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. You start to armor your mind. And I was like, okay, we suffer every day. That's what we do. We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when the suck stuff comes, you're ready for it. Let me tell you something. Most days in life, I wake up, I'm not motivated, hungry, or driven. I'm committed to myself, the best version of myself. And most of us are looking for is this special feeling of, oh, I feel great this morning. I'm gonna get out of bed and get a quick 5 miles and go to the gym. If you're looking for that feeling, I'm gonna tell you one thing ain't gonna come. You have to learn to do, and you don't want to do. I want to bring that savage mentality out of yourself. The animalistic mother. You think a savage about how he feels or how she feels? They just do it. Learn to be your best self when you're least motivated. Stop looking for a feeling to control what goes on in your life. You have an obstacle to overcome, so overcome the mother. But if you live this on a daily basis and you know how to calm your mind down, the self-talk will help. All that stuff will help. But usually we react. We have pain, we have suffering, we react. And we react about, get the out of here. We gotta go. And so those people are able to control that feeling of in flight and say, no, there's a way through this. It's not going to be here forever. I'm not cold right now. 23 of them. I'm not cold now. I'm in a nice warm studio with you. You got to think about that. It's going to end. It's going to end, but we don't know that. We don't think that. At that time, it's going to last forever. And then you get to sit back on Friday, everybody walking across the, back on the grinder, all the 16, 17 guys that graduated Hell Week, and you get a chance to watch these guys victorious. And then you get a chance to think about that. You take that hot, warm shower, first thing comes to your mind, why did I quit? So what keeps me going? I quit several things. I know what's on the back end of quit. It's a lifetime of thinking about why did I do that? I taught myself all these things, all these disciplines. But whenever the first really great challenge come, that little wisdom will push you back in the hole. And I realized, man, I'm fixing stuff on a surface level. I'm all surface, man. I'm not going deep into the cellar of my mind and fixing the foundation of my soul. My soul is broken. But I knew I could fix it, but I was afraid to go back. I was afraid to face the demons of my life, because you start lying. You wouldn't anybody know anything about you, so you start lying about who you're not. And start creating a person about who you want to be, but it's not who you are. So that's when I started realizing, man, I'm never going to get over the hurdle. I'm always going to go on a surface level until I go deep into the sewer of pain to figure out and face all of these different demons. That's hard. It's hard. We all like social media. We all like everybody to see us for who we want to be. That's why we post beautiful things about us. That's not going to fix you. I can't get a break in life. I hate that damn mentality, but I can't get a break. You aren't getting any breaks in life. You make them for yourself. We are all being tested in life. While my test is different than yours, you will be tested. And how you face that test and how you overcome that test determines the rest of your life. One mentality that you must have in life is that regardless of what's in front of you, you still must grind. I'll never be in the Olympics. I'll never be a professional athlete. But still I grind. I fail at most things I do. But still I grind. I don't want to do half the shit I do. But still I grind. And that one day, you see me on a dark alley, running at 1 o'clock in the morning, know one thing. I was grinding. So that mentality became what I wanted. And that's how it started with that visualization of the canvas. And all I gotta do is just keep getting up. But I knew I had more in me. Maybe she didn't know that. So when you realize in your heart of hearts that you have more in you, but you choose to not find it, and you choose to compromise your life for someone, that's on you. And when you die, I believe that when you do die, there's a judgment. And you meet God. And I sometimes talk about this. Let's say you two are God. Okay? This time I can look for one. I believe that it's just, I make up things to give me energy, to get me to put up. And this is one of my visualizations. I'm 300 pounds, I'm in line, you're God, and there's someone sitting down, Joe Blow. But there's a big long line behind me that's going into heaven. And I'm in line to go to heaven. And there's a whiteboard right here that you guys are looking at for Joe Blow. I don't know what that whiteboard is, because only you guys can see. I'm next, you call me up. I'm happy. I'm made to heaven. I'm talking to God. I'm here, 300 pounds. Fat, nasty, disgusting. I'm head. I'm happy. You flip the whiteboard over. I'm sitting there with my chocolate milkshake, my donut smell, fat, and just I'm looking at you, and you're pointing at, it says David Goggins, February 17, 1975 on my board. It's all my stuff on it. It says Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, New York Times, all of it, Frederick Reagan. I'm like, that's not me. God knows all. God knows, David, that's what you were supposed to do. You have to have that mentality of, I went to Hell Week. I knew I was going to get broken. I had to have an internal flame in me that can never be, it couldn't be kindling. Kindling, you put the water to kindle up, sour, right? No. I had to be among a tree, and it's burning hard. It's burning for a long time. that. So it's not anger. Anger can't sustain you for a long, long period of time. Because once you get in a situation, trust me, I've tried it before. You get in a hard situation and you're miserable. That anger is gone. What comes up is real. The real feeling of who you are and where you're at. You don't want to care about the people who made money in high school or your dad and because now you become selfish. You're like, let's say you're yeah, for one, please, your balls in your fucking mouth right now. You said, oh, dude, I'm thinking, those kids in high school bullied me or my hands are these your words. You're thinking, so what anger can feed you for so long? There has to be something so deep in you that drives you. If you don't see results in the first 2 days or first week, I'm done. That's the mentality of most people. The struggle is too real. We're not patient. Like in a world where you can Google the best restaurants around me right now, no one is patient. And for you to lose weight, for you to stop drinking, if you whatever the hell you're going through, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, a lot of pitfalls, a lot of plateaus. You usually in plateaus, if you don't know how to get around that plateau, it's not going to happen fast. How I look has just become like I have thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles on this body. Running, pull-ups, push-ups, swimming, whatever you want to call it. This body is what it is now. It's from repetition. It's not from studying, hey, if you hold the plank for this month, go ahead. I don't care about it. I just do it for my mind. Right. I want to continue to harden because that's the only thing I want. That's what I want. I want to have that mind ready for life. And in that process, I have to go back to that mental lab. And that mental lab is that scratch. That mental lab is that trained humility. And so that's where I get better. I get better when I'm digging holes in the ground. When I'm waking up early and I don't have to do these things. That's where I get better. And that's the part that I was missing. And the second I got up there and said, okay, man, you're going to jump again tomorrow, man. Why don't you just attack this and get it right? The whole mindset shit. But I had to think about, you're up here every day. You're going to keep doing this every day. So you're not really that afraid. You're just afraid of that part. Complete the mission. Complete every step of this journey and jump on that bird and be the man you want to be. And that's the whole point about attacking life, attacking things. It's not just enough to show up. You have to dominate it. You have to give everything. You have to want to be the best at it. Just not graduation. Like everyone goes, oh my God, I swear to get through Navy SEAL training. Oh man, I want to be the baddest girl who never did it. It's that mindset, man. It's not about just being the great guy. People go places. I don't want anybody to know I'm here. Especially in military training. That's what I blend in. One thing that was good about me is I wanted to meet black people. So I could never blend in. So I said, I might as well show the talent. Instead of showing up, I might as well show the talent. So it's just a mindset, man. God is spirit. In the mental lab. See, there's all kinds of months. Some of those guys, some October, they got all kinds of what people go through trying to better themselves. I got to do every day. Get after it every day at a time. That's it. When you push that hard, it goes to well. Well, my well was the cookie jar there had stale morning cookies. They weren't working no more. So to find something else and get that conqueror's mindset back. Like just don't give a shit about anything. Just grind. A lot of people want to talk about they're missing something in their lives. And they don't know what it is. You know what it is because you're in a soft environment 24/7. Going to get out. So I went from David Goggins and I created Goggins. And that journey is a priceless journey that is hard for me to explain to people because it sounds so quick and easy. Like I lost this weight and I went through 3 elements. I went to high school, went to Delta Force Lexic. Whatever it is. It was brutal. It's a brutal journey every day. Everyone's like, are you happy? If anybody knows my life story, I'm trying to give you just a snippet of it. Where I'm at today is in front of Joe Rogan telling you my life. To get through what I became to get to where I'm at now, there's a little part I have for myself that I can't really show people. Because I have this space that they see, like, are you happy? What's wrong with you? I'm driven. I'm obsessed. And that's what you see. That's your new norm. So then it's like breathing. And then once you do this over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing. So my mentality from a weak kid became super hard. Like beyond hard. Next level hard. And but that's what I thought I was getting myself into. As a leader, I should have stepped back and I say, hey, these are your expectations, David Goggins. Right? What are we here to accomplish? Right. So my mentality was materialistic. It was something that it was barbaric type of thing, like a mentality. So that caused, but that's when I started to develop a different mentality. And I started to develop a mentality of this is where it's at. When you find out where you're at, it's when you're the lowest part of your life. So I started to develop a whole new mindset. Like the lowest part of my life is to make me feel better. The lowest part of my life now, it actually gives me strength to know so many people stop. That's where they quit. Right? When they get to the sewer of life, versus looking at it and saying, oh yeah, but now let's see what the fuck is up. But let's see what the fuck is up now. Let's see the millions of men out here in this world. They're not going by route. This is where people stop. And this is where I started to develop the different mentality is. You want to test my resolve? You want to test my ability to go the distance? You want to see where your mind ends and mine begins? That's where that mentality started for me. Because I started saying that you always end up in the dungeon. You gotta find strength in that or no one else does. It's a conqueror's mindset. And very few people, if any, can really understand what that is. And I started realizing that that's my mentality. This shit ain't hard anymore. You know what you wake up, you're getting the cold water, you're gonna be into the gun. Whenever they say you're out, you get out. So my new norm, so I do that now today. My new norm now is if I do a 200-mile run. Your new norm now, man, is you fucking are doing 200 miles. Just because you went through some training once and you got through it, doesn't mean it lasts forever. That's what most people hated me in my life because I realized that. You don't just say, oh, I got it, I'm checked off, I'm good for the rest of my life. That's when you got the recall. You recall in everything. And you don't have that much recall when it comes to the mind. So I like the climb to the top mindset. I don't like the flag mindset. No, I haven't arrived ever. That's a mindset that you chose to just be a target. I'm speaking to that one motherfucker who said, I'm putting everything on me. And I'm going to go to the dark edges, the dark crevices of my mind. And I'm going to figure out why I'm so fucked up, why I'm afraid, why I continue to fail and fail and fail. So my mentality is this. If you're scared of something, worry about it. Figure it out, overcome it. So when I got lessons on how to fly, I'm up in the plane with a pilot. We used to bad turbulence. And I freaked out. And the pilot says, one thing you can't even do up here. And that's forget to fly the plane. In life, it's a true statement. We have hard times, we have turbulence, we fail, we fall on our ass, we have forces, we have all kinds of shit happens. And we sit there and think about that one issue. And it's all we think about. And we forget to fly the plane is us. We forget to focus on everything in life. Our habits, our goals, our destination. We have to fail. So stay hard. You have the purpose and the heart and the dedication and the mindset of everybody go for themselves. I know what I know. I've listened to myself enough to know. I know what I know. None of you can hear what I'm hearing. And that's what people don't do enough of. They don't listen to their journey. They listen to everybody else. Before you know it, I'm crazy. But I'm so fucking crazy. Why am I so successful? That's the big thing, man. And that's why it was important for me to finally realize, stop being all these fake people I used to be. Stop being afraid. There was no growth until I cut myself down to nothing, to the person I really was, the real human being. And once I found out who I really was, That's when I started growing. I was trying to build on top of a lied up foundation. You can't build a house with the foundation. So I had to get down to the actual mineral soil of who I was. That's when you can start real growth. Life isn't fair. We have to understand that. It shouldn't be fair. It's trial grounds, a testing grounds, it's built to make us harder. It's built to make us as strong as we can, to test us, to drive us. So, mentality is the only thing that gets us through life. I was an underdog. We are all underdogs in life. Even the best person in the world should think that way. So you should always have I've never arrived mentality. And the can't hurt me mentality is no matter where you come from, the sewer or wherever you think you're from. When I got out of the sewer, I got to the road and looked around and said, can't hurt me. Nothing should be able to hurt you. If you believe that, it starts to become true. So that's my mind about can't hurt me. I was hurt, man. Like literally, I had to overcome so much those first 26 years of my life. And I still do every day today. You know, it's not over. But the mentality of can't hurt me is just that. Man, what's in front of you, man, you have to face, you have to confront, you have to overcome, and move forward. So this is why I started to develop an indestructible mental toolbox, which is why the book is titled, Can't Hurt Me. I want people to have that mantra in their life. Take that with you. Take it everywhere you go in life. And if you believe that and you work towards that, callous in your mind, strengthen yourself, can't hurt me is strong. In any situation, like when I was a buzz, they beat the shit out of me. And the first one to say, can't hurt me, motherfucker. And they were beating the hell out of me. But you say it enough to you. False motivation becomes your motivation. Can't hurt me was like a bad stick of me. It was like the surface level of daily guidance. Some things that can help you out. This to me is a master degree. This book right here takes you to another level of the mind and how you think. That's why I say this ain't no fucking self-help book. This is what you do with your life book. Yeah. And that's why that's so important. What do you do with your life, man? Why are you sitting around? Why are you waiting for something to happen? It ain't gonna happen like that. Why are you feeling sorry for yourself? Why are you gonna do that good apology? That's never gonna come. So all the insecurities I had when I was a kid with my father, I moved into this area here, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And it haunted me. And that voice that I talked about, it kept talking louder and louder and louder. I was doing nothing about it. And I decided to make moves. So I made sure that I wanted to own all of Can't Hurt Me and own all of my own life story. So that's what it really is all about. And my message is always about Can't Hurt Me. It's just about staying true to who you are, staying real. There's so many people that do what I do, who are inspirational speakers, motivational speakers, whatever. You put yourself out there like this to be the ultimate leader. People are trying to see what you're talking about and live off your example. Fuel. People who listening, people who follow, people who try, people who do better. I have to live by example. So it's miserable inside. That's not what I do. I will be a liar like I used to be if I'm telling you something. This haunting fucking voice in my head kept on saying, man, we gotta go back. The only way we can go forward is to go all the way back. And that's very scary to do for everybody. The only way you're gonna fix yourself is to go all the way back. To the beginning, to your childhood. And that's where everything starts. So one big thing is accountability. You have to start with yourself. So what happened in my life was we started to get, I call it like the rucksack. The rucksack is a pack that you carry in the military, and you put all your stuff in it. Your radios, your food, your water, all that stuff you have to carry in the military. That's your rucksack, the backpack pretty much. As you're growing up, we all have a backpack. Most of ours, hopefully, is empty, and what we put in it is all the crap we're going through in life. That's what goes in the backpack for the civilians, and we carry it around with us. So what you have to start doing is realizing that no matter where you're at in life, I got caught with a lot. My dad abused me. Learning disabilities, stutters, immaturity, insecurities, self-doubt, so much crap on top. So much stuff. I lied a lot to create friends. So much stuff was in my backpack. No one's coming back to help me. So it starts with that person in that mirror. You have to realize you are on your own now. And whatever else you believe in, I don't care what you believe in, but on earth, it's a very lonely journey. And it starts with the accountability fair, looking and saying, hey, my daddy beat the hell out of me, he's not coming back. All these things are coming back. I have to face myself. And you have to own all those things that people may have done to you. Now it's yours. You got to own it. And it's yours now to fix the problems that people did to you. It makes no sense. It's not fair. I get it. But if you live in that woe is me mentality, well, guess what? My dad did this to me. My mom did this to me. People who bullied did this to me. You're going to always live right there. You have to figure out ways to move forward because you're not coming back. You don't want to break open that callus, that scar in your mind. You want to break it open, let that blood flow. You let blood flow in your brain. You let all that stuff flow out. All that toxic stuff that you have trapped in there has to start flowing out now. So, like you said, you are doing this to yourself. Yes, people may have helped you get there, but it's now on you. That's a painful truth. It's a painful truth. Painful truth. Like all those people in high school and everything else, they don't know how you're going to end up. So you got to make sure that you constantly are rewriting your book. You have to constantly rewrite your book every day of your life. You know, and these aren't just words I say. This is how I have to live. Like, these are conversations I have with myself. And I say everywhere I go, the most important conversation when you have with yourself.
Yes.
You live with it every single day. But most of our conversations are not the right ones. They're not the ones that are going to push us to the place we need to go. They're the ones that are going to keep us sitting in that toxic environment that you helped create and everybody else helped create, and you just live in it. You live in that muck. And that conversation is placed in your head. That becomes you. You know, a lot of us are going through a hard time in life. Some people are getting bullied. Some people are just stressed out. Some people are insecure. Some people are fat and overweight. It puts a lot of this in your mind. It's not just you. You help it. And the whole thing was about, I had to develop a mindset that was indestructible. I had to armor plate my mind. And it's about what you're saying to yourself, but it also comes from work. So whenever I was getting beat down, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever I was going through, just saying, I would put, you can't hurt me. Can't hurt me just became a message I would say to myself. And that's just kind of where it comes from. I believe that most human beings are only living at about 40% of their capability. So the mind has a governor, like a car. If you're driving a car and the car has a governor on it, the car may say 130 miles an hour, but the governor is set for 91. Once that governor sets in at 91, the car starts doing this. The car wants to go. The car wants to go, but that factory said, we're not going past 91. We have a factory, a nice governor in our brain, and it's a survival mechanism. It protects us from pain and suffering. The second we feel that, our mind says, no, this isn't fun. We should back off. We should sit down, find something more comfortable. And there's something about the mind. The mind has a tactical advantage over you at all times. At all times of your life, the mind has a tactical advantage over you. Why is that? It knows what you're afraid of. It knows your insecurities. It knows your deep, dark lies. And it starts to push you away from that shit. It pushes you in a direction that is comfortable. The mind controls everything. So what I realized was that when I was growing up and I was 300 pounds and I got all fat, I got all insecure, I realized that my mind kept taking me in this direction that things got uncomfortable for me. When I was facing my insecurities, I was facing my fears, I said, oh no, we have a tactical advantage. We just get you, separate you from this feeling. This feeling of your life's all about feeling, but the happy feeling. We don't want that feeling of this sucks. Why am I here? And you don't have any, so you can't answer those questions, so you leave. I started realizing that if in that moment you can answer those fucked up questions, And you are now in charge of your brain versus your brain ruling you. That's where all that stuff comes from. So the 40% rule is all of that. You get to 40%, your brain says, we're done. Let's roll, man. This is starting to get painful. This is uncomfortable. So you sit down. You have to figure out ways. And everybody's different. That's how the book kind of talks about. Like, we all have these things about, you know, 5 steps to this and 4 steps to this. It's a lot more than that. That's all bull. It's a practice that you have. It's a habit. So if you know that at 40%, I'm feeling pain. At 40%, I'm feeling pain. That's when the 40% rule kicks in. Now it starts. Okay, I'm feeling pain. My mind's saying all this shit to me. It's saying, get out of here, run, flee. The fight or flight kicks in. Okay, we're done. We're not good enough. It starts telling you all these things. You start to believe it because the mind controls all. This is the time when you have to gain control back of your mind. It's okay. Let me see if I can go 45%. And once you start giving yourself more and more hope, and start realizing, okay, the mind starts to be, okay, we're supposed to be going right, and you're going left. You start then controlling your mind. Start finding more in yourself, and then it goes from 40% to a lot further than that. And that's the start of it, though. Get to the spot where your mind is saying stop. Wherever that is, you gotta get there first. And then that's when that shit starts to work. You gotta control yourself in that moment. I'm okay with going on this easy highway over here.